is not where I thought I would be after finishing chemo and going on a lovely road trip up north. And then this week, my family's actually, well, my in-laws, my husband and baby, are actually at the snow, and I'm supposed to be with them. But I started feeling sick the last couple of days. And yeah, I probably just, sometimes I try to be really stoic and just get on with things, and but I started having, and I like posted this video like, guys, I'm better, and I posted my hair because I was like, I think that's brave to show what the hair looks like now, considering that I used to be a glam gal. Well, no, I'm a glam gal. I still am. It's just this is a different look for now. Yeah. I have to be careful with my words because I know that words create worlds. Last time I was in hospital, I didn't really film, but I thought today I could film. Just seeing if there's like a good tripod to use. Is it weird to use like the this thing is a tripod? Maybe. You guys know I don't like editing videos, so I just started recording because it was like, it would be cool to have me opening the curtain, but I was like, I don't really want to cut it together, so I'll just start chatting. Yeah, so the last couple, so basically we did the road trip up north, went to some really beautiful places. We got back late on this Saturday, and I was feeling okay. Like, I was a bit tired, but that was my first time like getting away for a long time, so I figured that's why. And yeah, and then on the Sunday, I had a lovely birthday lunch because it's later season, even though it was like a week later from my birthday. Had a lovely lunch at Lunetta Trattoria in Canberra, up the top of Red Hill, a beautiful place with like 4 of my best friends. And that was really nice. But when I was sitting there, like, I could feel a breeze, and I just did feel, and it's like the middle of winter, but I don't think it was like their fault or anything. I just feel like maybe it was because I was sick. I started getting like a bit of chills, and I just felt like I couldn't, like, I guess when you come back from holidays, you don't always want to wash everything straight away and get organized, but I just felt really motivated that I would wash everything and get ready for the next trip. But I just felt like I couldn't. I felt fatigued, I guess is the best way to explain it now that I think about it. And then, like, as well, now that I think about it, on the Saturday and Sunday night, I was getting night sweats. Like, had a runny nose. I've had a runny nose for weeks. You can probably tell from my voice. And yeah, and then I just, like, we were getting ready, so meant to go to the snow Monday morning with all the family, and we have like a beautiful place that we're hiring out. I'm so sad that I'm not there right now with the family. And they all left around midday because check-in was like 3. And so ended up packing, but I was just so slow to pack, and like my in-laws took my daughter because we're like, oh gosh, it's sometimes hard to pack with a baby, so they took her. But then I just, like, with my husband, I was like, I just feel so tired. And that morning I just like felt like staying in bed longer, and I have these little bouts where I just feel like I have to stay in bed, and I feel bad because I feel like I'm lazy, or I'm just like lying in bed getting a coffee, and I feel like that's not, and obviously, like, yeah, my hubby doesn't mind, but I just feel like I should be able to get out and about and do things, but I just literally felt like I couldn't. Like, I just felt so tired. And yeah, these night sweats, but then I was like, oh, but I have like a wool jumper on, so maybe that's why I'm getting night sweats. And then I had like a shower, I had a bath, and but like my muscles just felt all achy and sore. I had a shower, and then I think that's probably a sign that my muscles were a bit achy, because I had a bath and then felt like I needed to have a shower after. And then I called up. There's like a rapid assessment unit for cancer patients, and basically you can just call them up and say what your symptoms are, and if it's like something manageable like a headache, they might say just take Panadol and monitor it, and what to do. So I called them up and left a message. It just went straight through the first time. They didn't call me back, and then that was like in the morning. And then we finally packed, picked up my daughter. She was coming in the car with us, and then on the way to the Snowies and from Canberra, and I was like, oh, let's just stop in at TCH, Canberra Hospital, and just and so I called the rapid assessment unit again because they hadn't got back to me, and then I said, like, this is what's going on, and they said, yeah, come in. So like you do have to call them in advance, the rapid assessment unit, just so they can monitor staffing levels and whatnot, and they're not like an emergency department. So when I've had like chest pain or some of those things, it's straight to emergency, but with a fever and with other things, like, they are able to assist you, and I prefer going there than going to emergency. So came in, husband and Bub was asleep in the car, so husband just drove around a bit, and then they took my temperature, and it was quite high. I think it was over 38, and basically, then they wanted to do a bunch of tests, and they said, look, you'll be here about an hour. I was like, I'm on my way to Snow, I'm ready to go, I finished chemo, like, let's go, guys. And they were like, okay, we'll try and get you out of here in an hour, we'll chat to your hematologist, we'll see, if we can, we'll get you out of here. Maybe you just need some antibiotics you can take to the Snow, and they were even like, what hospitals are at, like Jindabyne or Cooma, so they were really, really sweet. And then I was crying a lot because I took some photos. I didn't really record it because I don't know, maybe I should record myself when I'm in those moods sometimes, but just to show what it's like. I was really, really upset because, again, I had plans, things didn't go to plan. I wanted to be with my family because it was also just going to be like really relaxing week. And it still can be, like, it's Tuesday now, so who knows, maybe I'll get discharged today. It just depends what they find and whatnot. So they did a bunch of blood tests. It took ages for the blood tests to come back. They did a swab of my mouth and nose. What else? They did like an ECG, like heart monitor, and just OBS, so like blood pressure and pulse rate, the thing on your finger. My blood pressure was pretty high, but I think that's probably because I literally believe I have PTSD from coming to the hospital and having bad experiences. So yeah, I was just crying, just felt like I was letting my family down. It was also just the emotions of everything that's been happening this last little while, and also, like, just felt like a failure because I thought I was at the end. I'd gone on a holiday, like, I'm ready for new beginnings, I'm ready for these opportunities, and to me it feels like a failure to be in hospital. But I think it's something I need to reframe and realize that I have been a cancer patient. Even though, like, I was talking to my cousin yesterday though, and I was like, how people identify as different genders or, all different types of things. For me, like, I don't want to be like tarnished with this brush that I'm a cancer patient. I just don't want to be like, I don't want, it's like in the medical system, I guess, like doctors and nurses to see me as like someone sick. Like, I've had something, but I'm not like a sick person. That's not what I believe. I believe I'm a healthy person who's getting back to health. This is just a blip. So I just, like, when I was in that ward. I think things that were triggering to me. I always get triggered by listening to the conversations going around. So I ended up putting like my headphones in and listening to rain sounds. But they were sort of like talking like, and I just saw a couple of people in the beds next to me, like they looked very sick, and one of them, they were saying, I mean, and they're saying it all right there, right? Like he's lost 30 to 40 kilos, he's an older gentleman, and they're talking about end of life care. Like that's so confronting. Like I should be out at the snow, like rocking and rolling in the hot tub with my family. I shouldn't be here with that type of thing going on. And then one of like the nurses had been on a conference, and one of the nurses was like showing people and doctors, she's like, oh, look at this like picture. They'd been on a conference, they'd been to a conference in Fiji, and she was like, oh, look, like they went to the hospital there, and they were talking about modes of care in Fiji. It sounds like it's pretty tough in Fiji to get good care for cancer. Just like delays, and you know, she was mentioning like people weren't wearing PPE gear, which is something that they have to do when they give you chemo here. They wear like all these purple like hazmat suits, which feels weird because you're like the one getting it into your body. And then she was like showing pictures of some of the different patients, I guess, like, oh, look at this person's oral cancer, look at this person's arm. And so I found that a bit confronting. So yeah, I just put on rain sounds. She was really nice though. When I was crying, she came and gave me a cuddle, and like, yeah, but it's just kind of, I think because I'm like an organizational change manager, comms and change management is things I think about. And as a patient, when you're in the hospital and just hearing nurses and doctors just talk about patients, I'm a patient, and you know, what would you say about me? Do you know what I mean? So they checked my neutrophils. If my neutrophils were close to normal, not like the normal range is like 1.8, but if you're a cancer patient, 1 is good, and so they checked mine, and it was 0.33. So basically no immune system whatsoever. Yeah, so then they're like, you're gonna have to get admitted to the ward overnight, and so that's what happened. And then I just told my husband, like, just go to the snow, like, don't worry about me. And he brought me a banana smoothie. I was like, I want a banana smoothie, but it was like 3 o'clock. He's like, when am I gonna get it? But you are a champion, hubby. I don't even know if you want me to say your name in these videos or not. But yeah, I feel really blessed to have my lovely husband and my beautiful baby. They came and saw me, and it was just nice. Like, mostly I don't bring my daughter to the hospital, but on this occasion it was really, really good to see her. It just gave me a bit of like oomph and motivation. I called my grandparents when I was like crying, so upset. They always like end up talking about things like the weather and yeah, but or like their appointments, or like, you know, the cleaner came this day, or you know, they had this for lunch, and like usually I'm like, oh, like, because they're so smart and they've had like a life of amazing experiences coming from Hungary and moving to Australia and working as a builder and amazing things. Like, they came as refugees as well, and I love having those chats. Oh, lighting up. But they, yeah, sometimes just want to chat about the weather. And yesterday I was like, what's the weather? I just really wanted to hear their voice, because it's just like during this season, it's like you think that you can move on, but like you don't know when you're going to move on, and you don't know what comes after chemo, but you can't just sit there lying in a bed and like waiting to be better. It just doesn't suit me. But I do know I need to heal. I know it's a balance. So, and there's like no guidebook or no, like, they definitely have certain recommendations, but it's very broad and it's really tailored to your own situation. And, you know, it depends what type of cancer you have in terms of recovery. I think there's a big like emotional weight that comes after finishing chemo, and in the meantime until you have your next PET scan. And that maybe that doesn't get talked about enough, like, and maybe that's kind of just like hit me like a ton of bricks. I find it hard with sharing my story in terms of I post things later. So like probably this will come after my road trip video. But in terms of timing and when I post and whatnot, I've only just posted recently chemo 7 and 8, but now that's like ages ago. But like, I don't know, you just got to post when you can. And I'm grateful that I have recorded these videos. Like that was really important to me, to document this journey. And now I look back on videos even before I was diagnosed and I feel like, oh gosh, I have like beautiful hair and but I was like coughing and I was having symptoms and I was not well. So yeah, I've got a bit of like pain behind my breast today here. So I'm gonna get that checked out. What are the symptoms do I have? I made them write it on the board because I do get chemo brain. I think my chemo brain just presents as certain facts and things I can't remember. But I think because I'm always like a very, my mind is always just very active. I still have like a lot of things on my mind or things I can communicate. It's just not as sharp as it usually is because people do talk about chemo brain and brain fog, and I've heard people say that their brain fog lasted 6 to 12 months after chemo, which kind of worries me, or even longer. I'm worried about like what chemo might have done to my body. I mean, obviously great that it, treated the cancer, but it also impacts your body, and there are risks of, I don't even want to put it out there. There are risks associated, let's just say, with being on it. I feel like my face is slowly coming back from the moon face days. The steroids just like give you a really big like moon face, which is like known as a thing if you look it up, and I've always had a round face, so that's something that's on my mind. Yeah, and I'm just rocking, I could shave this off because it's very little hair, but somehow I just like having my own hair, my own thing going on. I did get like little tiny little sprouts, very, very, very light sprouts. Yeah, so like even when my hubby came yesterday, I was like, bring the laptop, I'm gonna do all like my tax, and I had a project to do for my daughter that I never finished since February because then I got sick. Well, then I found out I was sick, and I'm really keen to finish that one. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, being in hospital is just weird. And I had to really advocate for myself last night because the doctor came and did the rounds and was like, we're going to do, so also yesterday they did a chest x-ray, they did a bunch of blood tests, they did a swab, they did the ECG, and because I started being like, do I have pneumonia? I don't know. And then the doctor came in last night and we're chatting, and she was like, oh, I'm going to do like a chest x-ray, I'm going to do bloods. And I was just like, we've done that. And I just felt like she wasn't listening to me. I really liked the doctor, but I was like, we've done that. And she's like, okay, like I'll check, we might need to do them again. I'm just like, why do we need to do them again? I have a cannula in, and as you know, my arms are so sore. I'm still on the blood thinners, apixaban. Do you want to see what my show bag looks like? I haven't shown this on camera before. These are on my little show bag medications. Yeah, so I do have this lovely magazine from a friend. My friend Emily, Emily C, gave me like a bunch of things and things for my daughter too, and like meals. It was a beautiful care package, but she gave me this magazine and I really like it. It's like the best magazine ever because it's got work for me. It's called Breathe. Breathe and Make Time for Yourself. Issue 51. I really like it because it's got like all these reflection questions and mindfulness and yeah, all that sort of stuff. And then I've got my journal where I'm still supposedly maybe writing my book, who knows. I just find it hard to write when I have, a cannula in. I probably can, but it's just, I don't know, I just feel weird about it. I don't like seeing needles, I don't like seeing cannulas, but that's okay. These things happen. I also felt yesterday like I was like not hungry, and now I'm feeling a little bit hungry. I have these biscuits, which is exciting. So I might have some then. I also find that when I'm in hospital, tips and tricks, bring this. I've ended up with my suitcase from the snow. And like I always take a bag, like a day bag that has like journals and magazines and like who knows if I actually get to use it. And then I have like a day bag for my daughter as well, where she has like toys and like a photo album of everyone in the family. But yeah, I just had a feeling to bring this to the snow, and it actually helped me a lot because I could sleep better in the hospital. Yeah, so that is a little bit about what's going on. Yeah, I've been getting this weird pain here, so I'll get that checked out. I've been having ear pain for about 2 weeks as well. I have a runny nose. I have an ulcer on this side of my tongue. I'm due to start a new job 1 week from now, so that kind of makes me a bit nervous as well. And you know, my grandma says just slow down, but it is a contract. You can always change, or you know, who knows what will happen, so we'll see. I'm hopeful. I just had this feeling like it's meant to be. I'm going to do it, and it, you know, future me will figure it out. So we'll see how we go with that. But I think through all this, it's just like you have to take away the lessons to live in a new way. Like I just don't feel like I can go back to the same way that I was living before, which was very, you know, working 40 hours a week, volunteering 40 hours a week, doing a bunch of things. I think I've realized like I just really want to spend more time with my family. That's really important to me, and there's just been a few moments throughout this journey that's like, oh my goodness, like your life is, you know, this is life and it's not forever. And that's surprising. I have to tell you as well, when I was in the rapid assessment unit yesterday, like had some sort of curtains like this, because you're just on like a ward with a bunch of other people. And this random, like I had this open, this random man was just like walking around and like came up to the nurse's station, which was right next to where I was, and he's just like, hi, and they're like, hi, can I help you? And he's like, oh, my mum's just having surgery and I'm just going for a walk and checking out what's around. And I was like, I have like, yeah, like I just don't like random people walking into my space, so I closed the curtain. Maybe that's like, you know, privileged of me. I mean, I'm going to public hospitals as well, so I'm not going to private, but yeah, sometimes it just feels like anyone can just walk in. I guess I've had to build resilience in that. And I feel like, you know, throughout this whole thing, I've had to build resilience. And I think anytime I'm just like, oh, you know, gonna make some plans, I think this will go a certain way, end up having something different and having to shift. And that's okay. And I'm trying to learn to deal with that. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to style this hair. It's just like kind of like comb over, I guess. But I'm just like, I know that I could shave it off, but when it feels out, I'll be starting with something. Because like, you know, if I start with a bald head, then I'm starting with ground zero. And I want to start with something. And even like on this side, you know, kind of looks like I've got something going on. See? So there you go. Okay, everybody. Love and light to you. Thank you for watching. This was not what I had planned, but it's okay. I know I've got to get better. Like my temperatures overnight were like 38.9. So I've got to take this seriously. Got to get better. I'm going to find out what's going on, and I'll keep you posted. Bye.